Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is yet another Friday with snow and ice going on. But hey, what can we expect, right? We're in New England. So it's 9 o'clock on a Friday, and that means you are seeing me, Deb Burton, Executive Director of RI Elder Info, the most comprehensive resource for our seniors, caregivers, and professionals. And this is our show, Friday Friends, where we interview organizations and individuals who are doing some really cool stuff that you need to know about. And if it's not something that you specifically need to know about, I promise that there's somebody that you know who needs the information that we're talking about. So it's really important that you hit the like button and the share, and you get this video out to as many people as possible. We've got an amazing program going on today about some resources that are going to help folks stay independent for as long as possible in their own homes. Super important these days. So we are a nonprofit, and we could not bring you this show if it were not for the lovely generosity of our sponsors and our donors. So big shout out to Oak Street Health. They are a primary care practice that has offices in Warwick, 2 in Providence, and 1 in Woonsocket. We are also very grateful to United Healthcare. They are some wonderful Medicare insurance providers here in the state. You can give them a call, and they speak just about every language available in the state. So you can have your Medicare questions answered in the language that you understand. Also, big shout out to Tamarisk Assisted Living. It's a small assisted living right in Warwick, right by the mall. They even have a memory care unit to care for our loved ones who may have some cognitive impairments due to dementia. So amazing programs going on over at Tamarisk. The magic that is bringing this to you right now is from 321 Media. Ben is an amazing resource for video production, online streaming, and similar venues. He does an awesome job, and he's a nice guy to talk to. You visited rielderinfo.com. You have visited rielderinfo.com, right? Yeah, that's the work of England Studio. They are award-winning web design team located over in North Kingston, providing their services worldwide. So wherever you're watching me from, if you need a website or anything like that, give Dave and Sal a call over there. So again, we have an amazing show going on today. So I am really looking forward to talking to my guests. So I have to have Ben bring her up right away. Melissa, please come up. And Muriel, hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. So please introduce yourselves and tell everybody, what is OSCIL, or Ocean State Center for Independent Living?
Hello, my name is Mirai Saif. I'm the executive director at OSCIL. Ocean State Center is a consumer-controlled, community-based nonprofit organization. It's established to provide a range of independent living services to enhance, through self-direction, the quality of life for persons with significant disability and to promote integration into the community.
That is awesome. And Melissa, what is your role there at OSCIL?
So I have a background in occupational therapy, but my role at OSCIL is to do home assessments for home modifications and assistive technology. And within the last year, the technology program. And I also help out with outreach.
Oh, wow. So OSCIL helps people remain independent at home. In what ways can you do that? Like, what are some of the important things that you find really makes a difference to enable people to stay home, whether that be a younger person with a disability or an older person who has now found themselves with maybe an impairment?
Okay. Well, the first thing that we're looking for, and which is a big issue, is barriers. So when we go into their home and we do an assessment, we want to see what barriers are keeping them from being as independent as possible, where we could try to decrease a fall risk, whether it's in the bathroom, going outside. Maybe the steps are not accessible, the doorways aren't wide enough. Why is it that you are having a hard time remaining independent in your home? What's happening? Have you not showered for a while because you're afraid your tub isn't safe? How can we make your home more accessible and focus on the areas that are creating barriers for you?
It's funny. We have so many homes that have been in the state for a really long time. So like my house is from the 1890s. We have some really old housing stock. And what that usually means is, your front door, you've got like 2, 3, maybe 4 steps to
Yeah.
go from inside your house to, your garage or your driveway. Can also help with those steps because sometimes like you can get around okay in your house, but
Yeah.
boy, those front steps are like keeping you from really being able to live a full life.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that's something we focus on as well. Even if the inside of your home is accessible, if you can't get out or get in, I mean, it's kind of, you know, not very helpful. So what we can do is, depending on the level of disability and depending on their mobility, what they're using to get around, is it a walker, a wheelchair? Do they have a cane? Can they do a ramp? Not everybody can walk up a ramp. We always ask that. Have you ever used a ramp? And they're like, oh, I'm at the doctor's. That's okay, because that means you've used a ramp. Some people have never actually used a ramp with their disability.
Oh, that's
So
a really good point. I hadn't thought about that
yeah, so I
because
mean, you have to be able
yeah.
to self-propel. If you can't do a ramp by yourself, then it's probably not
Not the
going to work
best
for
choice.
you.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and not all ramps are ADA compliant, and everything we do has to be ADA compliant. So we would just assess. Maybe they don't need a ramp. Maybe their steps are just too steep and there's room to spread those steps out and make modified steps, shorter, more steps and a shorter step down. That's sometimes an option
Now,
as
when you
well.
say ADA compliant, what does ADA compliant mean? What is ADA?
The Americans with Disabilities Act. So
Okay.
everything that we do has to abide by the laws of the ADA. Um, whether it's like measurements, for example, if you've seen a ramp that looks like a ski slope, you know, which is, listen, some people hire like a contractor who is a really good contractor, but not everybody has to go by the ADA, and we do. So people will call us and say, I want a ramp at my back door. So we'll come out and we'll look and they'll go, I don't want it in the front of the house. Well, maybe the back door isn't an option. It's a foot of ramp for every inch of rise. So if you have a 6-inch rise, you're thinking it's not a big deal. That's 6 feet of ramp.
Okay. Yeah.
And it has to go according to the ADA. So it has to have like a platform, 4x4, or is it 5x5? It has to have a platform at the door. So you're not like on a slope while you're trying. So it has to have a platform, then it goes down a bit, then it has to have another like resting platform and enough room to turn. So there's a lot of ramp. So if it
That
has
yeah.
to go at another door, we're going to assess all of the exits for egress, and we're going to find out which door is accessible. There's so many rules. You can't dump out on a sidewalk. Even if you don't
Oh.
have a sidewalk and that grass, you're mowing that grass and you've been taking care of it for 20 years, 6 feet in from the street doesn't belong to you regardless.
Oh,
So
that makes a
there's so
difference
many
too.
rules like that we have to look at.
Wow. So I could see where that could be a real barrier. So when you're talking about a foot of ramp for an inch of rise, so for those who don't know the rise, it's from one step to the next, sort of like that area where your toe would ordinarily
Yep,
kick.
from the threshold down to the ground.
Yeah. And most stairs, I think, are around a 7-inch rise. So if you even have like one step,
Yep,
in order to not go flying, you have to have like 7 feet of ramp, if I did the
absolutely.
math right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And also, if you're on a hill, I mean, it depending on what part of the state you live in, there's a lot of homes that are on a slant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
possible to still do the ramp. It's just we still have to go by those rules. And this is just to keep everybody safe, honestly. This is to make sure that everybody is as independent as possible. We would never put somebody in a position where we're not helping to decrease those falls. We're just kind of throwing a ramp in there.
Right. And I would imagine too, it's really important that that ramp have the right pitch for like days like today when it's slippery and icy out. Like if you're helping somebody with a mobility impairment
Yeah.
and you have to push that wheelchair, like you want to be mindful that you're not trying to push uphill in the ice, or maybe even worse, trying to control it downhill in the ice. That could be a
And
really
that's
bad
why,
day.
right, and that's where that foot of ramp for every inch of rise, because that gives it the perfect grade. So they are not like just taken off.
So you do the ramps. Are they the metal ramps? Are they wood ramps? What kind of
Aluminum
ramps?
modular.
Okay,
Aluminum modular ramps.
very cool.
So they
And
can be removed if the house is sold, but they
oh,
are, while they're in, they're considered permanent, but they can be removed. So the wooden ramps are really built in.
okay, that makes sense. So the wooden ramps would have to go with the house, but
Yeah.
if say down the line you want to sell the house, you can take the metal ones off.
Right. And the reason we do the aluminum modular is because they don't really freeze over.
Ah,
They don't rot.
yep.
They don't need to be maintained, stained and taken care of, periodically. The other thing that another thing I want to mention, we do ramps also, but like I said, widening doorways. We've also worked with consumers to move their washer and dryer from the basement to the first floor if it's possible. Maybe they have a spare bedroom on the other side of their bathroom, or there's a breezeway outside of their kitchen. So you do have to own your own washer and dryer. We can't purchase that, but we'll do everything else.
It's funny that like that is something that you don't ordinarily maybe think about in maintaining your independence. Is yeah, our washers and dryers are often in the basement, and
Right.
you're trying to go up and down a set of steps with carrying a basket of laundry, or in some cases, you're throwing your dirty laundry down the stairs.
We've
I might
seen
not know anything about that.
we've
And then
seen
you're
it
trying to go
all.
down, like, with the laundry on the stairs. So, yeah, moving your washer and dryer, that's
Right.
really cool. Do you
And
do grab bars too?
we do grab bars in the bathroom, or in the hallway, or coming in the house, so you're not, holding onto the doorway, so we can make that accessible as well.
Okay.
And we also weigh the options too. So with the washer and dryer, if that's not an option and the person is able to use a stair lift, if that's something that works, if it's not like a custom stair lift, if it's just a stair lift to be put in, we can do it that way as well.
Oh, okay. That's really good.
Yeah,
And I know that, research tells us that the bathroom is like the most dangerous place, like where we're most likely to slip and fall.
absolutely.
Um, but a lot of our, like I was saying before, a lot of our houses are older, so like not everything is built the standard construction 16 on center. Are you guys able to install the grab bars like in the shower or like by the toilet? Um, Even in our older houses, like do you have the equipment to be able to anchor those to the wall securely?
Yeah. So when we go in, we assess the like if it's tiled and the tile looks like it's in pretty good shape, we
Mhm.
can there's always a way to anchor in a grab bar into a bathroom, into a shower wall. We like to do the long wall and the wall over the faucet or over the controls, and that way they can hold on and then use their left hand to hold on to their side, and then we could provide a shower chair if the mobility issues are to the point where they just stepping into the tub is an issue. There are other options. We can provide a transfer bench where it's 2 legs out, 2 legs in, or we can do a tub cut, or we
Oh,
can.
wow.
So the tub cut is where we cut about a 3 foot um, cut into the tub wall, and it's capped off, nice and neat. It doesn't look sloppy at all, and it's about, I want to say, 2 inches tall, like up, so the water doesn't come out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so they can, essentially now step into their tub.
So is it you yourself? Are you out, doing these home modifications, doing the tub cuts and installing the ramps, or do you contract with providers to do that, or do you have like a whole separate home modification team at OSIL? How does that work?
So there's a handful of us that have the same background, and we go out and we do the assessment.
Mhm.
We do the measurements, we take our pictures, we bring that back, and we have somebody who is um, putting out bids. So we have a list of contractors that have been vetted. We check all of their work. They have to be licensed and insured. And we want to see like past examples of things they've done. It does help if they have experience with aging in place and grab bars. And because there's a huge difference between a grab bar and a towel bar. And I know
One's gonna hold you up, one is gonna drop you to the floor.
right, and with experience myself, if there's a grab bar, if there's something to hold on to, you're gonna hold on to it. That's why we dread, shower doors. We always recommend taking them down because I have never been into a house ever in my life where a towel bar wasn't loose. And the and the shower doors, everybody holds on to that handle on the doors. And honestly, we've seen people, the doors fall out. We've
Oh,
seen
jeez.
people fall, break their ribs on the shower door track. I mean, there's so many things that can happen. And you also have to consider the shower door track is about 2 inches high. If you're already having a hard time
Oh, yeah.
climbing in, that's just another 2 inches. And then, you have a bench in there, and then people are trying to squeeze through this like 1 foot, 2 foot opening. And then they're like, "I don't know why," the caretakers are like, "I don't know why it's so hard to get mom into the shower." Well, it's because you're trying to squeeze her through like this rabbit hole.
And there's no danger in doing that. Oh my
Right, right.
goodness.
And I mean, everybody's at risk there. I mean, if you're still, independent, and you have to be self-directed to work with OSIL. That doesn't mean you can't have caretakers helping you shower. It just means that you are able to participate with sound mind and body from beginning to end, from the creating of your own goal
Mhm.
to the intervention to the completed goal. So whatever it is, we can't do something that you don't want to do. You are our consumer. So yes, we understand that there are family members, adult children involved, and they may want mom to have an iPad. I want mom to have an iPad. But if mom's like, I'm not going to use that, I don't want that. I mean, then we're not. It's what you want.
Yeah. So, with it being self-directed and the person has to be able to make their own decisions, what other criteria are necessary for people to be able to take advantage of this program? Because this sounds like really a game changer for a lot of people. So, can anybody participate with OSIL, or is there a specific criteria, eligibility criteria?
Okay, yeah. So you do have to meet our income guidelines. You have to have a disability. Um, You don't have to be on Social Security. You don't have to be on any specific type of insurance. You just have to meet our income guidelines. Also, we are funder of last resort. So if you have another option, so when we're working with you, we're going to ask you like just a whole bunch of questions about: are you a veteran? Are you on Medicaid? And we've been doing this long enough that we know pretty much what Medicaid's going to pay for.
Yeah.
So if the consumer's coming to us and it's something small like grab bars, um, at this time that I know of, I don't. I'll have to check into
Uh,
this and quote
I,
me about the grab bars from the state. Do you know me, Ray?
yeah, well, just to give you a little, background, we have the Part B, grants, and we have as well as the state grants, and we have to, of course, stick to their eligibility guidelines. And they're very generous. So the federal guidelines, we actually are 400% above federal poverty guidelines, which is, just to give you an example, the monthly income for one person is like $4,200. And
Wow.
so that's really generous. As far as the state guidelines, it's 300% above poverty guidelines, and it's usually the monthly income for one person is 2383. So they're very lenient and very generous. So we really encourage people, if they are in need for any kind of adaptive equipment or home modification, to please, reach out to OSIL, because if we can't provide it, we have the resources, and we'll give you the contact to be able to achieve whatever goal you're trying to get to.
I just did the math really quick. If um, it sounds like the income guidelines, you could have an income around 4,000 a month, give or take.
Well, actually, you can have the actual number, you can make up to, for one person, 4293.33, and that's the federal grants. As far as our state grants, it's 300% above poverty guideline, which is 2383 a month for one person. And that
Uh-huh.
increases as, if you have two people in the home or three people in the home, and that, of course, that income threshold increases.
Right. So, did the math really quick. So that actually, with those numbers, means you could make, a smidge over 50,000, about 51,000 a year, which really
Yeah.
serves a large amount of our Rhode Islanders
Yeah.
who are just beyond the Medicaid threshold, but not
Yeah.
particularly wealthy enough to hire out of pocket and write a
Right.
check to a contractor to have this kind of stuff done. So
Yeah.
you fit a very particular um, niche.
Right. We're trying to catch the ones that are maybe just over.
Yeah.
And there's also even if they might be close to that, or there's also we consider medical expenses as well that we could look into seeing about spending
Yeah.
down.
Oh,
But
okay.
the
So
other
if you're kind of like if your income's higher, but you have much higher medical expenses, that kind of offsets the amount
Yeah.
that's considered.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we also, I mean, that goes for the VA as well. The VA is so complicated. They do a lot for their for their people, but it depends. There's so many things. Like I just learned this. It depends on what war you served in. It depends on what percentage of your disability,
Yeah.
what you're eligible for. Not everybody can get home mods. And maybe they can get their glasses and their medical, but not everybody's eligible for equipment or home mods. So we just would
Yeah.
ask for them to maybe reach out to the VA first and then let us know that they are not eligible.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to mention, that you don't really need to own your home. You can, you
Oh,
can be renting, and as long as the landlord allows you to make that modification, we're willing to help. So please, like I said, reach out. Don't think you need to have a home for us to be able to
yeah.
help you, and just
Right.
spread the word.
So it's funny, like Cheryl Wallison, she said, OSIL is an amazing organization. It's the best kept secret in Rhode Island.
We love
Aw,
it.
we love
Yeah.
Cheryl.
Yeah.
And I completely agree because, I feel like there's so much opportunity for you guys to help people and it's just about getting the word out. Now,
Yeah.
Melissa, you mentioned something about if you wanted mom to have an iPad or if somebody was interested in technology, do you guys offer technology? Do you offer iPads?
We do. So we have a tech program from money from the CARES Act, and
Mhm.
we're able to. The purpose of this program, which is temporary, but the purpose of the program is to help bridge that digital divide between somebody who's feeling isolated at home due to the pandemic.
Mhm.
Whether it's being able to get on social media and connect with family, friends, they want to get their prescriptions online, or even
Order
do
food.
their grocery shopping,
Yeah.
whatever it is that you can do online, then, and they don't have access to that because they don't have a device. Or, maybe they have a smartphone, but it's not a great plan. So, and not a good phone, so they don't have the connection. So we don't pay for their cell phone plan or their internet, but what we like to do is we'll look at the whole picture. If we go out to your home and you would like an iPad or a tablet, depending on. We like to give you something close to what you already have, the system you're comfortable with, and we're going to do full training. We would never give something to anybody without training them a few
Thank
times.
God.
Yes,
Because
and we go to them. So we actually go to their homes. They're welcome to come into our office, but we'll always, for all of our programs, we'll always go to them. So
So that
with
right there is huge because I think a lot of times, we tell everybody technology is the answer and, like, here you go. And
right,
it's
and then
like,
it goes
okay,
to
I'm
the
in my
store.
house.
Yeah, then
Oh,
it
I
goes
have to log online to get help.
right,
Yeah.
and they don't even know how to do that. So we'll work with them. I mean, we'll help them set up pharmacy apps. We'll help them use
Yeah.
FaceTime. I mean, and even if it's a laptop, if there's something specific that you want to do, then and it depends on what the task is that you're looking to do, and then we can assess from there. We really want to know, like, what is it that you're hoping to get out of technology?
Exactly.
What
Yeah,
what
we're not just giving it away. So that's the
yeah,
whole thing. Our IL specialists are going to go out there, they're going to assess them, and based on the needs, that's what they're going to suggest, and
right. So
recommend.
right, and it's very similar to the process for assistive technology and home mods. What is keeping you from being able to be independent? Do you have less caretakers coming in because there's a shortage? Do you have
Yeah.
did you have a neighbor that helped you out, but now the neighbor is concerned about exposure? So now you're really just kind of in your home more and you're not getting your prescriptions because somebody used to pick them up for you. There's simple things like just ordering your prescriptions online is something that people can do that would really be a big help. I mean, it would help people to stay on schedule with taking their meds. I mean, there's so many things that something simple like not being able to get to the pharmacy, how it can affect your life, or even being able to pick your own groceries. Because most of us will, if we have somebody go to the store, we'll jot things down on a list and just hope that they that they pick out
Yeah.
the right stuff for you or they
Yes.
get
Yeah.
the right brand. You can go on sites like Peapod and actually go through the aisles, virtual aisles, and you can pick out everything you want and you can set
Nice.
a time for them to
Mm.
come, and it's not bad. I've been doing it myself reasonably. The delivery charge is not bad and the prices are the same as in the store, so they're not like gouging you. But I mean,
And
even if it's music, some people they have anxiety, and this whole pandemic has just put them in a place where they're finding it hard to have coping skills. So some people find music to
Mm.
be self-soothing. So if that's something you want to have, you're going to use your tablet for social and other things, but also be able to download music and calm yourself down.
That's really important too. You bring up a really good point about music is that sometimes what's playing on the radio is not exactly what we want to hear, or maybe we want to, particularly with the news, in the last few days, maybe we don't want to hear anything about the news. We need something that's really going to calm our mind. So to
Right.
be able to do that, I think that's really interesting. In speaking with you guys today, you sound like Ocean State Center for Independent Living is one of the most client-centered programs out there, because whether it's moving a washer or dryer or the computer or a ramp or a
yeah.
tub cut, like, it sounds like you really take the time to speak with the client and understand what their needs are.
Oh, 100%. When we go into their
Absolutely.
home, it's not like a pass through. I mean, we're spending like 2 hours there. And between the first assessment and the completion where the goal is completed, we're in contact with this person from day one. If they have questions, if they're having anxiety or doubts about something that we've talked about, they can call. Um, we'll go out as much if needed for the technology. We'll go back out. We'll help them out, see what it is that they're having trouble with. Just making them comfortable from beginning to end because they're the consumer. We work for them.
Now, washers, dryers, tub cuts, um,
We do have a hearing aid program as well.
Yes.
really?
Yeah, so we work together with the gift to hearing program at URI's speech and audiology department. So they already on their own have this wonderful gift to hearing program where you can purchase a low cost hearing aid. And when I say low cost, we all know how much a hearing aid costs. They're anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 for one, which is ridiculous if you need two. And not everybody's insurance covers it. Or
No.
maybe your insurance already did and you lost one or it's broken. You can come to us and it's all the same income guidelines. And what we do is we'll help to pay for at least one hearing aid.
That's so it's interesting because we don't think about how expensive those can be. And
Oh,
sometimes, they get mislaid.
Right.
So do you take donations of hearing aids and repurpose them? How does that work?
They might at URI. You can
Okay.
contact them. So
Yeah,
they
but not
might.
here.
I think I've heard that they have taken some back. We don't. We're just we just pay. So
Exactly.
So we're the middleman.
I
when it
love
comes
that.
Yeah, so we're the middleman. So they come to us, we approve them, and we'll pay. They'll bill us.
But let's say you're not within, you're a little over that financial guidelines.
Yep.
They will honor that person and let them come
Nice.
in and use the discount that they usually give our consumers. So as long as you're a consumer and you're self-pay, they'll honor that price.
Right. The only thing is, I will say, unfortunately, you can't make payments to them.
Yeah.
You have to have the money all
Upfront.
at once. But I mean, it's so reasonable. I mean, I would say $600 for one.
No, it just went up actually. It's $650 for one, and the higher level is at $750. So that's the max you pay per hearing aid.
Right. So if
Wow.
you have an option maybe for your kids at Christmas, buy mom a
Yeah.
hearing aid, everybody throws some money in, or you can save. There's no time limit on this. So you can, my dog's about to bark. I'm sorry.
That's real life these days.
The neighbor had the nerve to come home. I'm sorry. Come here.
Oh, you can have them join. So
Sorry.
when people are reaching out, is it the OSCIL.org? Is that the best website to learn more about your programs?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
And
also you can reach out to us through email, which is on the website. You can call us at 401-738-1013. You can message us on Facebook.
Wow. So all the usual ways and then some.
You
So you
can walk
mentioned
in too. I mean,
I
you
was
can
just going to
walk
say, you
in.
mentioned you have an office. Is it, I mean, obviously today it's awful out, but ordinarily, is it a situation where people can walk into your office?
Yes,
we have
absolutely.
3 offices right now for convenience. We have our main office in Warwick at 1944 Warwick Avenue. We have an office in the airport plaza in Warwick next to Chipotle. It's where IHOP is. So that's primarily our technology office. But I mean, anybody can walk in for information. We get lots of walk-ins because it's a storefront.
Got it.
Not
Okay.
1800 Post Road. And I always get this wrong, so I'm going to ask Mireille the address for Pawtucket.
Oh God,
It's either, wait, I want to say
175, I think
175.
Independence something.
I
No,
always want to add a
Prospect.
1 in there.
How about I get back to you on that?
Yeah, so actually I'm gonna look it up right now. So we
But please mention, Melissa, about Saturday as hours for the AT, and tech devices.
yeah, so we're now in John and I are in the office from 10 to 1 on Saturdays. You can walk in with a device and say, "Help me," or we can call if we already have a referral for you, we'll just call you and see if you can come in on Saturday. Not everybody likes to it's 175 Main Street.
Thank you.
I always
Isn't that
wanna add a 1 in
terrible?
there.
You just drive there.
Right. We just know automatically how to get there. It's in the bus terminal at the tourist
Oh, perfect.
center,
Okay.
right on Main Street. So we will call you and say, can you make it on a Saturday? Not everybody can come in during the week. Maybe you have a neighbor, a friend, or a family member that can do stuff for you on Saturday and you can get in. We don't need to go to your home if it's just training for a device you have, or if we're going to provide you with a laptop or a cell phone. We do, however, need to go into your home when it's a modification. We need to see
Yeah,
your
that makes
environment.
sense.
We also, because we do smart home technology as well, so we do need to come into the home and see what areas, like you get into bed and it was already difficult and your caretaker left for the day, or you're just exhausted and you realize you left the light on in the living room. You can
Yeah.
turn it off with your voice with Alexa, or you can just, there's Wi-Fi light bulbs. There's, you can control your
My God.
thermostat if you have difficulty managing or controlling your own body temperature due to whatever disability. You can see who's outside with a camera and a doorbell out there. And I'll give you an example of that. Sorry. Sorry.
That's okay.
He was winding up with that growl. I knew he was going to bark. I'll give you an example of the doorbell and having Wi-Fi technology in your home, smart home. We had gone out to a consumer's home to do an assessment, and she was in her own home, single family home, and she lived alone. We knocked on the door, and we always give people time. We
Right.
give people time to get to the door, especially why we're going there. We know there's already issues, barriers, so we'll give them some time. But 15 minutes had gone by. It was kind of dark in there, so we were just going to go back to our car and maybe give her a call and then leave
Yep.
and reschedule. We'll reschedule. But we started walking back to our car and the door opened. So we're talking over 15 minutes at this point. This this woman had to get from her hospital bed to her ceiling track
Yep.
harness. She put herself into it, which some people can
Mhm.
do that. Then into her wheelchair, and then to the door in her electric wheelchair. That was quite a process. And I imagine she rushed. So at that point, she could have fallen and we wouldn't even have known
Yeah.
she was in there. Did she have her cell phone on her? Did she, is she wearing some kind of alerting device? We don't know that. What she could have done was looked at the camera on her phone or her tablet and said, show me the front door. And she could have seen it was us, knowing we're coming, and she could even unlock the door
Oh my
with
God.
the keypad entry that we could also provide. So she can decide, if it's us, she can unlock the door for us and let us in. If it's just a delivery person, she could simply say, I'm here, please leave the package at the door, instead of having them take it and bring it to some smoke shop in Cranston. We won't
Exactly. Yeah.
we won't know. So she can say, please leave the package at the door.
Yeah, that's really good. Like, is there any age limit on your programs? Do you have to, only be between, I don't know, I'll make it up, 18 to 60, or
There-
any age limits on this?
I'll let Mireille answer that one because things have changed.
Yeah. Well, actually, as long as you're 17 and over.
Oh, wow. 17
Yeah.
and over.
Yeah.
Holy cow. That's awesome. So you can
Yeah.
get all of these resources. Is it a one-shot deal? So if you do use OSCIL's programs, when you're 20 and then time goes by, it's a one-shot deal. You might have grown up out of your parents' house now and have a house of your own, and now you need some modifications on your own. Can you do it more than once?
You know what? It depends on each situation. I mean, we reassess people. So it's not like, no, it's a one-time deal. No, because you know what? Your needs change. So we usually take down the information again, and we have one of our IL specialists just go out there and reassess the situation. We never say no, we can't, because you don't know. I mean, you could have a disability and then progressed, and your needs change. So you might need other help,
Oh, that's good. So it can.
Yeah.
So Stephanie Colhane had a question. Could you be 17 and a dependent, so still under your parents' roof, and get help?
You have to be independent. That's the
Okay.
whole idea behind it. It depends on what the needs are. Again, so she can feel free to call, and what we'll do, we'll definitely have one of our IL coordinator reach out to her and get the information. And if we can't help, she'll definitely give her the resources that are available out there that might be beneficial to her child.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, and the level of independence for that really depends on what it is that the teenager's trying to do.
Exactly.
Did they just get a paper route and they can't hear their alarm because they're hard of hearing? Do they need like a vibrating alarm clock? Are they at this point now where they need more privacy? Maybe we can put a flashing doorbell outside of their bedroom so mom could ring it when she's coming in. So it just
Yeah.
depends on what it is. Even getting to school on time. I mean, getting in
Yeah.
and out of the home. I mean, it depends what it is, and it also, there's other programs like Mireille said. There's other state programs that could step in as well. If you're still in the school system, there's things. If you need to get to school, there's things that will be paid for already.
Awesome.
We always collaborate with other state agencies. So, don't hesitate to call.
Absolutely.
We'll
Awesome.
be able to help.
Always
Oh.
call, even if you think you're not eligible,
Yeah.
just call us. We'll figure it out together. And like Mireille said, if you're not eligible for us to pay, there are other grants available through the state to do some modifications or do like reimbursement programs. And each town has their own version of grants or low interest loans, where you don't have to pay it back until the house is sold, or they give you a payment plan that's like doable for you. Some towns at some years have enough money to just pay for something like a ramp and not want anything back.
Wow. Holy cow.
It depends on the town and it depends on the year.
Yeah, I understand, but a lot of all of the cities and towns right now just got massive amounts of funding. So I would also say that if that's supporting your older adults and individuals with some disabilities in your community is something that's important to you, that you reach out to your town and have that conversation. Are there centers for independent living in every state, or is this something unique to Rhode Island?
No, so the Americans with Disabilities Act is a funder of the of SILs in every state. Every single state has at least one.
Yeah.
I mean, we have one, but like California probably has like 20 of them.
Okay.
Massachusetts, I think, has 6 of them.
7,
Is it
actually.
7? Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that. I was close. Proud of myself. So they all have the same core services.
Yeah.
But depending on the funding, they can get local funding. They can have, different programs available that are not exactly like what Massachusetts would offer, or Connecticut. And Connecticut might have something we don't offer.
Wow.
So it just depends. But if you're looking for a SIL, if you're listening right now and you have a family member that lives in Arizona, Google Centers for Independent Living in Arizona.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Or
And you can IL independent living ILRU. Yep.
.org, or you can just go to CIL.org.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just any way you word it in Google, as long as it's a Center for Independent Living, then you're going to
Google
find
will
something
find it.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then once you put that in, most of the states for SILs, they actually you can enter your zip code and it'll tell you which one's closest to you, and you can see what programs right on their website, what they have available. I just want to mention, not everything is about qualification for us. As long as we're not making a purchase, we can't make a purchase for you, whether it's technology, paying for a home mod, or equipment, if you don't qualify. But we can always come out and do an assessment. Maybe you're
yeah.
over income. Maybe you're way over in liquid assets. I've done assessments in mansions on Ocean Drive, before in Newport, Narragansett. Like, we've been all over in big, beautiful homes. Oh, sorry, he wants to share his toy now.
What is your friend's name back there?
This is Arnie Mouskowitz.
Hi, Arnie Mouskowitz.
You're so funny, Melissa.
That's our third guest.
Yeah.
He's very needy. That's his disability. The pandemic has given him anxiety, made him very needy. So
you know what? He is not the only one. The pandemic has done that too.
Right. He's feeding off of me, probably.
So as Melissa said, there are no income guidelines for all of our 5 core services. So please, if you have any questions, reach out to OSCIL. We'll be more than happy to assist you.
Absolutely. And Carrie Lynn Edge, she made a great comment. She said, "This is such an incredible service, above and beyond, and such individualized service." That is just one of those things I think that really makes OSIL, like Cheryl had said, that best kept secret.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're
Well, that's
trying. Sorry, go ahead,
I was
Melissa.
just gonna say really quick, that's the whole point behind the, assessment and having the rehab background is, not everything is, you know, cookie cut. Not every there's between the lines that
Yeah.
we have to think outside of the box. Maybe what it is that you need we've never seen before, or you're the first one to need that to be independent. Because it's not even just about getting to the doctors; it's also about your mental health. Like if you have a physical disability and you come to us and you can't you've been gardening your whole life, your entire life, and you can get out the front door, but you come to us and you have, this beautiful yard, which is something that's very important to you. That's where you go to be okay and to feel good and to relax and to get your mind off of things. But now you haven't been able to get into your backyard in years, or since your accident, or since your disability's progressed. So we can address maybe have creating access to the backyard as well. Maybe your flower boxes were on the ground and now you can't get to them, and we're maybe considering, we have to consider everything, and not everything's
Right.
going to be approved, and everything has to go through channels to be approved.
Yeah.
Of
But
course.
we go out, we do the assessment, we bring it back, and we're like, these flower boxes are on the ground. She can't garden anymore. She's been gardening for 30 years. This is what she does. So maybe consider raising those flower boxes up so she can reach them from her wheelchair or a
That's
chair.
amazing. Like, that just gives me chills. That's because you're seeing what the individual needs. And yes, ramps and grab bars, those things are super important. But from that individualized human perspective,
Yeah.
Yeah.
getting that I'm a gardener and my illness has debilitated me, and now I can't get out there
Right.
and get in the dirt and plant my flowers, and that makes me really sad and
Right. We had
really
a
mournful.
gentleman years ago when I first started, almost 15 years ago. Geez. Um, this was exciting for me. I was fresh out of school and I was really hoping to use that out of the box kind of thing. This gentleman was in his late 80s. He lived on his own, and he actually uh, made the horses for carousels.
Wow.
He did die cast, he carved them, and he had this amazing workshop. And it was also his livelihood. He was still getting paid to do this, but he couldn't get into the basement. So we eventually, after doing the assessment and working with him, we decided that a stair lift would be his best option so he can safely get into the basement and get down to his workshop and use his hands and feel good. And we're improving the quality of his life. We're decreasing the falls. We're helping him to be more independent. There's like so many components that came into just people are like, oh, it's a hobby. You'll have to find something else to do.
Right. And that's what I'm hearing makes OSIL different, is you're really seeing the individual.
Yeah, we're trying to get you back to doing what you were doing before, but maybe in
Exactly.
a different way.
Yeah. So the best way to find out more is the oscil.org.
Yes.
They can also give you a call.
Our Facebook page, Ocean State Center for Independent Living,
Yep.
Facebook page. Um,
Walk in on Saturdays. That's in the Chipotle Dollar Tree
Airport Plaza.
Airport Plaza.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always tell people, look for IHOP. It's right on the corner of Coast and Airport Road. We're right next door to Chipotle. We're very central. The bus comes right there.
Yep.
We see ride buses in and out of that plaza. All of the offices are walk-in, but we're the only one in Airport Plaza that has the Saturday hours.
Which really is another thing that makes you guys really unique, because a lot of times organizations that are providing resources to people are 8 to 4, Monday through Friday.
Right. We're just trying to make to be realistic as well.
Yeah.
Like we said, weeknights are not always possible. If your son is son or daughter is taking you to appointments on their schedule. Maybe they work all week. They have kids. The kids have soccer. There's always something going on. Saturday hours have opened up this like whole new world.
Yeah. Well, I have to give kudos to my staff actually, because they were willing to do that. And that's because they believe in the mission that we do,
Yeah.
and they were willing to work on the weekend just to be able to serve our consumers and help them out in any way they can.
Yeah, absolutely. And so are you guys a 501c3 nonprofit?
Yes.
Okay. So do you need donors? Do you need volunteers? If people really love what it is you're doing, how can they support you?
Please, like I said, volunteers are always welcome. Donors, we love them. So reach out, go to our website, and please reach out to us and either call or send an email out. But we're always looking for anyone, any help, any volunteer, any kind of help would be grateful.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And it's tax season, and I know like I do my taxes at
Tax
a
deductible.
specific place. You can even they ask you if you want to attach a nonprofit
Yep.
to your own account. So I do it, and I chose OSCIL.
Nice.
So you can do that as well. But there's so many ways to donate.
Nice. That is awesome. Ladies, I am very glad that you were able to come on the show because, like Carrie Lynn said, it's a really, I think it was Cheryl maybe, who said it's like one of the best kept secrets in Rhode Island.
Oh, thank you
This
so
is
much.
absolutely amazing. Thank
And
you.
this is so amazingly helpful. Word of mouth.
Absolutely.
We just don't have the funding for the advertising
Yeah.
because we're a nonprofit, but word of mouth, like we're trying to get out there. If you're listening and you have an opportunity for us to have a table, or you want us to come in and address your staff,
Absolutely.
or your high-rise building, whatever it is, we'd love to come out and talk about what we do in person.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys coming on today.
Thank you.
Everybody, this OSCIL, Ocean State Center for Independent Living, it really is a hidden gem because they look at that individual. They're not looking at a big amorphous group and saying, here's the cookie cutter and you have to jam in your needs into this square box. They really look at the individuals. I'm really happy that they were able to be on the show today because it's a great program. And I encourage you all to reach out, have your loved ones reach out. And it's really important that you hit the like and the share button to get this out to more people. So in the meantime, I look forward to seeing you all next week on Friday Friends. And in the meantime, I hope that you are all well and that you be kind.
If you liked this video, please follow us on social media and subscribe on YouTube. For more information, visit rielderinfo.com or call 401-585-0509. If you have any questions, email deb@rielderinfo.com.